What's up, sports bettors? So, thought it would be fun to check out the line movements and, hit some bets before the game start. So, that's what we're going to be doing in this video, in this live stream. Again, what I try to do kind of on these live streams, as well as any YouTube videos, is just like keep an accurate record since the start of NFL season. So, some regression yesterday. Yesterday didn't help us out with Rangers first half money line. We had a nice little Jesse Ronson loss to Wake Forest won. Navy almost won plus 580, but overall still up 367 since I started doing live streams a few days ago. Full length YouTube 12K. So a bit of a regression here too. What we're going to be doing is looking for some good bets. These sheets, a bunch of articles, are kind of in the description. That maybe we'll refer to. So a lot of different sports books, right, out there. So you can feel free to let me know if any sports books are just irrelevant to most people and we'll stop looking at it. But here's a great play on PointsBet. It looks pretty good. Lines appear to be moving towards the Bucks a lot. They have been moving towards the Bucks. And now here looks like a pretty great spot to get them on the first half spread against Kansas City. We already have some bets fading Kansas City. So what are we on? We have a few bets on Mahomes under 2.5 passing TDs. Unfortunately, this one lost with Justin Jefferson. The Saints are all over receptions today. I apologize, the Vikings. So we lost a few player props there. We got the Saints money line. We have the Saints +3. So came close, but it looks like the Saints are going to lose the game. But regardless, let's hit some bets. What's up, guys? Prize Picks underdog. Can we get some player props today? Of course we can get some player props. What's up? So there's an article in the description kind of about Prize Picks strategy. But what you can do is just come here and be like, okay, we want Thrive, right? You want underdog, 5-pick, and we want Prize Picks. So we just want these platforms, and you can kind of take a look, see what's out there. If you wanted a play that looks decent, there's a lot of stuff out there. So we can start out with, what do we want to start out with? Maybe we start out with Prize Picks. So basically on Prize Picks, right, the way these DFS platforms work, which we've done a bunch of videos on, but on Prize Picks, any 4-pick entry, just like underdog, you're going to be getting 100 to win $1,000 plus 900 odds. So just kind of based on the math, which is again going to be discussed in the article in the description, you're getting -128 odds. That's the implied odds you're getting. So you're looking for value to -128. So the way you think about Prize Picks, and you can browse odds for free on OddsJam. The way you think about Prize Picks is okay, if I'm playing a prop in a 2-pick entry, I'm getting -137, exactly like the sheet says, exactly like the article says. So it's kind of up to you to determine, do you like the prop at -137, right? So obviously at -128, this prop looks a lot better, right? Then we wouldn't even want to play this in a 2-pick entry. The no vig odds is -136, right? So we don't want to play at -137. You always want to play things better. So in a 4-pick power play, it would be, -128 is the implied price. So we're getting value to -128. So that looks great. This looks, okay. Right? You can play the Padres in our fee, but long story short, there's a few picks out there. You could go with a 5-pick flex, whatever. So we can keep going today. So let's hit some underdog. Let's hit some Prize Picks. And essentially, you can basically pick any of these 4 picks and kind of roll with it. So we have Brandon Cooks over 5.5 receptions. How do we feel about that? And then what I like to do as well is really, as a sports bettor, right? You don't have to win every bet. You need to beat the vig. You need to beat the juice to win long term. So what we can do is we can go, let me log into Prize Picks very briefly. and we can talk about it. And we can see what else we got open. So what I'm going to go with on Prize Picks, and like it's all just about using data to kind of like tease out value, right? Like here it's like Pinnacle, they're kind of way off from where everyone else is. So maybe this is a prop we want to avoid, right? There's a little more disagreement in the market. Like Bet Online is an extremely sharp sports book. So is Pinnacle, right? So you kind of have some disagreement on where the nerfy should be set. So maybe we say, okay, we want to skip that play, but a play we want to go with for sure, because every sports book is telling us, yo, hammer this, is Najee Harris over 2.5 receptions. So what we can do is we can go to the NFL. We can go to receptions, although I think I already have a bet on this, so I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to be able to rebet it from a YouTube video from yesterday. So Najee Harris, not going to be able to rebet. Well, we can see. But they have me limited pretty badly on this platform. So if we go to Najee Harris and we go to over 2.5, it's like, okay, this is the first pick we want to go with. We want to go to the MLB. We want to move quickly to get the value in, and we want to just zone in on 5 picks we really like. So that looked good, right? We want to get lower odds than minus 128, right? So 5-pick flexes are a little more complicated. We can go through the math, but I'm going to play a 4-pick power play. And basically, it's like here is an example of a bet you want to bang, right? It's just like every single sports book is telling you like, yo, this should be priced minus 155 to minus 170-ish area. We're getting it minus 128 in our Prize Picks entry. Yadier Molina to get on base. So that's a pricing discrepancy, right? That's a play we want to go in on that has a little more agreement than like this play as an example, where it's like there's some disagreement between in the sports betting market on the nerfy. Maybe a pitcher's uncertain. I'm not sure. Then we got Derrick Henry over 1.5 receptions. I like that enough. I think I already played it as well, but we'll go ahead and we'll dabble. So you never want to play 3-pick power plays on Prize Picks. It's a horrible idea just because of how bad the VIG is. And then how do we feel about Cooks? Looks pretty good, pretty clear, so whatever. We'll go with it. So now we got some picks we're locking in. I want a power play, and let's zam it. So now we got a 4-picker. We got Molina over half of a base. We have Derrick Henry, over 1.5 receptions. And again, if you have sports opinions or whatever, you can feel free to avoid some of these. Or you could go with the nerfy. But I'm saying solely from a data perspective, right? Solely from a mathematical perspective, which, by the way, can't lose in the long run. If you are just following value, what's cool about it is, you guaranteed are going to win in the long run. That's just how it works, right? If you're following math, you're guaranteed to win in the long run. It's kind of like arbitrage betting, right? Arbitrage betting, if you haven't done some research on it, is just risk-free money sports betting. It's placing a bet on the over, the under to make a risk-free profit, right? Like if we had Pinnacle and we had DraftKings, and we have tons of tutorial videos on this that you can check out that are definitely worth watching. But it's just like, if you can make risk-free money sports betting, you could just do that all day long. Now, granted, there's complications. It's a little tricky for some reasons. You got to move quickly. You're kind of like a day trader taking advantage of these inefficiencies in the market, right? And you're constantly like navigating sports books, trying to move quickly, but once you understand the math and kind of how an arbitrage calculator works, that's a strategy that you can implement. But like, if you just follow this system, you're guaranteed going to make money. So it's kind of the same thing with like value betting. Even if you don't take a sports opinion, and know anything about sports, if you're following the value and placing bets at minus 128, when every other data point in sportsbook is pricing something minus 160, minus 170, like you're going to make money. So we hit this for $50. So that's great because we got to play in for the early games. And we have so we got $50. This is plus 900 odds. So it's 50 for a payout of 500, profit of 450. Again, this sheet, if you want to follow along with all the bets, is going to be in the description. And we still have some plays open. Some of them look horrible. Some of them look decent. So we have Lamar. We have one open that's, Lamar. We played this on a previous live stream, so our last leg is Lamar. So some of them are looking good. What's great about, underdog or not great is you're always betting on these long shots. So you're always betting on things that are unlikely to occur, but given the high payout, you don't have to win that often. Like when you're playing 5-pick entries on underdog fantasy, any, 1, 2, any 5 picks is giving you, 100 to win 2,000. So when you're betting 100 to win 2,000, you can lose 19 times, your first 19 times, and win once to break even. So you only need to win 5% of the time on 5-pick entries to break even, right? So even though it feels like you're losing a lot, underdog will be profitable. It will be profitable for us. There's just more variance because you're playing things, that are much more unlikely to occur because it's not a straight bet. You need 5 picks to hit. It's just a 5-leg parlay. And also this platform is definitely good. I've done some videos on it, full-length videos, but what's fascinating about this platform is it's exactly like these DFS platforms, but Thrive Fantasy, they pay you. So on a 2-pick entry on Prize Picks, right, you're getting 100 to win 300 payout. What's cool about this platform is it's literally just a ripoff giving better prices, 100 to win 360. So it looks less sexy, but it's 100 to win 360 as opposed to 100 to win 300, right? Which is exactly what you're getting on Prize Picks for any 2-pick entry, right? Which is just going to be 100 to win 300. And same with underdog fantasy. So you're getting a lot of value, kind of on Prize Picks, or on Thrive Fantasy, which is why we recently added them to Odds Jam. You'll see some plays showing up on them. So we can switch back to sports betting for a bit, then go back to fantasy, kind of just keep it rolling, see what's out there. You can also check out what middle bets are available. Whatever's helpful. What's really cool about middle betting is, like you kind of have these, for example, you could play Bateman in an underdog entry, and then you could bet him on FanDuel over 49.5 receiving yards. And if he has exactly 50, you win your over, you win your under. So even though it seems like these middles are relatively unlikely to occur, I think we had, if I find it, we had a pretty big middle that hit a while ago on the same sports book. So it was Arkansas. May have to keep scrolling. I place a lot of bets on the sports book. So here we had Arkansas plus 2.5 against Texas A&M. So that cashed. We actually won 10 grand off a parlay thanks to that. Then we had Texas A&M minus 2, which pushed. So minus 102, plus 101. So you basically can't lose money. You lose like literally less than 1% of capital. And if Texas A&M won by 2, which they did, you get this huge payout opportunity where your Arkansas plus 2.5 is going to hit and your Texas A&M minus 2 pushes, right? So it's not, I guess, technically a middle, but you push one bet, you win one bet. So did the Saints lose? Dang, by 3. So what we can do is just kind of go here. I think we had them in a parlay. So I guess that lost. The line ripped against us too, which is BS, but whatever. Let's see what else is out there. So what are your MLB picks? We'll go through some. Any Thrive bets available before the 1 p.m. games? Let's take a look. Let's take a look very briefly. So Christian Kirk, I hit these two. Let's see if they're still available. Let's reload quickly. So Chase Claypool over 3.5 is still available. That looks pretty good. And then there's also Shane Bieber under 6.5 strikeouts. So not as much. They appear to be a little smarter at their pricing than Underdog and Prize Picks and kind of all those. So those are kind of the two options out there. What's a great pick for today? Let's see. What do we got on? So we have, what do we currently have on? We got the Browns team total. You know your bet was sharp and good when the sportsbook gives you a positive cash out. We bet 500. They're like, yo, can you just take your bet off and we'll give you an extra 16 cents in risk-free profit? And then we have the Jets money line, and the sportsbook says the same thing. Yo, you bet $1,000, we'll give you 62.86 because you beat us and you got such a great line. But long story short, I have the Jets money line. I got over 24.5 team total for the Browns. Jets money line, under 46.5 in the Cardinals-Panthers game. Patriots plus 6.5 first half spread, under 49 Chiefs-Bucks. This bet I really like. I like the under in Chiefs-Bucks, but who knows? Patrick Mahomes can go off. So let's see what else is out there before the games. Before the games pick up. So here we have a good play on Rex Burkhardt receptions. You can get it plus 136 on Caesars. So we can try to hit this. Gonna have to log in quick. But this bet looks incredible. So it's Rex Burkhardt under 2.5 receptions, plus 136 on Caesars. So let's share a screen. I hate this guy. Okay, so this is the play we want. Rex Burkhardt under 2.5 receptions. Hopefully you can see the screen. And again, this is just like, I call it rational sports betting, but whatever. It's like plus 100, minus 137, plus 105, plus 112, plus 136. It's like just data-oriented sports betting. Every sports book you should treat, as an independent data point of where should the line be set, where should the odds be set. And that's kind of, the easiest way to make money sports betting. It's like either Caesars is right and the over should be heavily favored, like minus 190 area, or they're crazy, right? And, it's kind of like just logic as well as some basic math tells you like, hey, clearly the play you want to go with, just looking at all this data, is this plus 136 right here. It's an arb to DraftKings. It's an arbitrage bet to Bet Online. It's plus EV to Pinnacle. It looks great to, whatever. Like these don't really count, I guess, because they're DFS platforms. But, maybe give them some say. So it's like DraftKings, they have the over minus 135, the under plus 100. So, the true price, according to DraftKings, with the VIG removed, is plus 115. So they're a lot less, bullish or whatever you want to say on the over compared to Caesars. So just, using data to inform our betting decisions, like, yeah, that's a great bet. So we hit it for 250. So we have this under 2.5 plus 136 for 250. So that's a live bet we got down. So that's number 2. So we have a Prize Picks entry. And now we have a sports bet. And this is 250 at plus 136 odds for today. So pretty cool. And again, like, if you're a big Rex Burkhardt guy, you can skip the play. I'm just going to follow the math and make the money. So let's go and we can refresh. See what else is out there. Ravens over 22.5. What buck, what odds? Where are the props for today? We've gone through a lot of props. We just went through 4. What do you look for when making a parlay? I mean, typically you just look for value on all the sports books you're betting on, right? Like it's the same kind of thing for regardless of the platform, right? I want to see value. So here is looks like a good example. That looks like just ridiculous value, the Phillies team total. So I'm going to hit it. And we can go through the math here in a sec. But it's like, sports books. So it's already down to plus 100, you can see. So we're going to skip it. But long story short, it's just kind of like, Pinnacle, You have the sharpest bookmaker telling you the over should be favored. You have Bet Online telling you it should be roughly the same as the under. So the zero vig line would be, kind of plus 100 if you remove the vig. It's plus EV, this bet, if you remove the vig from any sports book you want to look at. So FanDuel's line was minus 112, minus 108. So they're a little less bullish, on the over than, let's say, Pinnacle is. Like, according to FanDuel, kind of the true odds for the over would be minus 102. We're getting plus 105, right? So we're getting a lot of improvement to the true odds with the vig removed from FanDuel. So according to FanDuel's model, all the action they're seeing in the market, this bet looks incredible. Caesars, on the other hand, they have the under a bit favored. True price plus 103. They're like, nah, this should be plus 103, and we're getting it plus 105. So once again, we're beating the vig. DraftKings plus 104. We're beating, again, a little less so than on FanDuel, but you get the point, right? And you can do that for every sports book, and it should become pretty clear. Pinnacle had this minus 113, minus 103. You put the most weight in their odds, they're the sharpest. They have this minus 105, right? True odds with the vig removed. We could have got it if we were quick enough, plus 105. Bet Online, minus 115, minus 115, True odds, plus 100. So long story short, what's your favorite play of the day? I think the best play of the day I have, which may be a better way, is going to be Christian Kirk, under 5.5 receptions, Corey Kluber, over 3.5 strikeouts. Let's go with that. Favorite play of the day. So we can see what else is out there. First quarter total points, under 7.5, Jets, Steelers. Wow. That is a low total. These teams suck. I mean, seems pretty good looking at the data. So kind of just looking at everything, it's like, yeah, minus 120 seems like a pretty good price kind of on the under when you take a look across the whole market. So maybe we dabble small, log back into FanDuel. We got a few more minutes, and you'll notice, this is really when a lot of times lines start to move. So what we can do is go here and share our screen, and we can see what's out there. So we got football. We want to go to the Jets game, and then we wanted first quarter total. So many markets you can bet on, right? Which really is the point of OddsJam, right? It's like you can't possibly look at all the odds on FanDuel. They probably have a million odds, between sports books like FanDuel for this one game. If you considered everything you could possibly bet on, all this crap, it's just so much data, right? So as a sharp bettor, what you're really looking for is the purpose of all the OddsJam tools, is to kind of show you ways that you can use data to make smarter bets, right? So here we want Jets first quarter under 7.5. Jets, Steelers. This was 250 at minus 120 odds on FanDuel for today. And if you want to see the screen, you can take a look right there, which is pretty cool because it'll just show you, kind of all the line movements in real time. So you can see the Bears line, just moved to plus 136 on FanDuel, which maybe is decent value, right? Maybe not. I don't know. If you're looking for a play. The Titans line just moved on Bet Online, so you can see it'll kind of move, and you'll see some lines start to change, and you can follow the data, follow the line movements, which is really powerful as a sharp bettor, especially as these lines start to move more. Players get injured, stuff like that. So here's an example of a middle bet, maybe where we want to look at that, is Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry, FanDuel has his rushing yards line at 70.5. Bet 365. Like other sports books are a bit higher and most are juiced towards the over. So maybe if you want to play Derrick Henry, at least over 70.5. Doesn't seem that great, but it doesn't seem horrible. And you can kind of do the same thing here. Is you can be like, okay, like I want to look at player receiving yards for every single book side by side and see if I can like spot some value, spot some discrepancies, whatever, which is super cool and super valuable. It's still in beta, so it's not perfect, but pretty happy with those plays. So we can see if there's any last minute bets we want to go in on. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't. Damian Pierce, So the market's always moving. Things are always moving around. Like, what is this? Longest reception, Tyler Conklin, over 14.5 yards. Okay. So let's see if we can get it down in time. Again, just place the bet in bold with a circle around it. Like at the end of the day, it's really just about following the markets, and you're just day trading sports. So we want to go to the Jets game real quickly. Where is this? So player props, longest reception. Right. Oh. Nope. So we want player props, longest reception, Conklin, and then we'll hit it. And hopefully they take this bet because we got 1 minute before a lot of these sports books, you'll notice, start to close lines on the bets. And this bet, I mean, it's just like the profit margin of this play was ridiculous, 8.57%. So like the way that sharp bettors think, right, the way the people who make the most money with OddsJam think is like, I'm earning an 8.57% return on capital. Sure, my bet may lose, but if I could earn 8% return on capital on $250, this game starts at 1, it's over at 4. If you can earn an 8.57% return on capital, I mean, yeah, it should be pretty clear that you're getting, that like that's how you can make some serious dough sports betting. And of course, sports betting isn't like scalable. It's not like you can bet millions and millions of dollars on these plays, but like the math holds that this bet is absurdly good. And, you could arbit, you could do all sorts of things with this, but it's clear this is a play you want to be on. Why did it just show up? Who knows, right? Sportsbooks, screwing up late. You never know when there's going to be line discrepancies, action's going to come in, sharp action on a book, moving lines, whatever, players getting injured, lineups changing, weather changing. Like these line movements, these incredible bets can happen at any time. Here you have a huge ARB, right? You could have bet $100 on each side of this, earned, a risk-free $7. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. You just got to move quick, kind of know how to navigate the sports book, stuff like that. So we have Tyler Conklin over 14.5, 250 plus 129 odds. So we have this, right? 8.57% return. We're staking $250. My bet is worth $21.43. If you tried to give me $20 bill for my bet, I wouldn't give it to you. This bet's incredible. So 129, this bet's today on 10-2. I wouldn't trade you. You try to buy me with a $20 bill, this bet's too good. Too freaking good. So it's 1 p.m. now, so a lot of these sports books are probably pulling odds, pulling player props at least. So time to shift to the 4 p.m. games. No, but you can see like a lot of opportunity comes up late. Also, a lot of opportunity comes up early. So you can see here, it's like, especially as you get closer to game time, a lot of sports books are going to pull odds. And you'll notice like most of the bets here, are going to be in the 1 p.m. games because that's what, that's where a lot of the late action is coming in and line movements and stuff like that. But we can see there's also, a play for the 4 p.m. games. Pick up some value on FanDuel plus 108 on James Conner, over 49.5 rushing yards. That's an option. Titans first half money line plus 170 against the Colts. See, they just pulled it. So here we go. Here's a nerfy play, minus 113, Mets Braves. Again, some big discrepancies in these nerfing markets sometimes between Bet Online, DraftKings. So it's just about being a data-oriented sports bettor, being like, is this really a true pricing discrepancy? Do we really like the value here? Which is kind of the best way to think. So one final play. Let's take the Blue Jays -1.5. I'm a fan. So we can go here. Let's add that. Toronto -1.5. 12.50. Let's throw it. So I'm going to have to log back in briefly. Why do we like this? It's like, Yep, of course. So why do we like this play so much? It's just like, even though the EV is a little lower, max stakes $1,000. Okay, we'll take it. So even though the max stake is a little lower, so we're adding Blue Jays -1.5, $1,000 plus 110. This game's today. So Blue Jays -1.5 on the run line against the Red Sox. That looks great on WinBet. So why do we like this play? It's like, well, plus 100. So this would be plus EV. So just there's no vague fair odds calculator. I mean, it's so critical. Every sharp bettor is using it. It's just, very critical. And what it shows you is just like, hey, plus 100 -115 is the market. Plus 100 -115. The true odds is plus 107. We're getting plus 110 on WinBet. So that looks great, right? FanDuel -102, -108. So you can do this for every sports book. The Betfair exchange. This is super powerful. It's a great source of information. They only have 4 cents in market width here. It's a very active market. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars bet on each game. 4 cents in market width, plus 106, -110. So basically every single book is telling you, yeah, this plus 110 is positive EV. It's plus EV, right? So taking advantage of that for sure. And now we should see most of the 1 p.m. bets start to go away and just, now we're looking at 4 p.m. bets. Or there's still some other ones. But anyways, I'll probably be back live later. I know most people are going to call it a day for now. But hopefully this was helpful, and let's make some money. Yeah, I banned it. Don't worry. So hopefully this was helpful. Let's make some money, guys.